This is Chris Clayton for Doorways Public Charity. Welcome to Property Research. We buy in Jacksonville, Florida, which is located in the southeastern corner of America. We're going to be working with this property research spreadsheet, which you should have access to. So we're going to be filling out all the information in these cells. We're going to be doing this with Zillow.com and some other websites. So let's get started. Here we are at the Zillow website. First, we're going to type in Jacksonville, Florida. The filters we use are price between 50,000, 150,000, apply. Home type, we deselect all, select homes. We only look for houses. Under more, no HOA, no new construction, no foreclosures, no auctions, no coming soon. And down with square feet, minimum has to be 1250. Apply. All right, so just for an example, let's click on this first one. 6848 Tinkerbell Lane. We're going to copy the number and the street name. We're going to go back to spreadsheet. First thing we're going to do, because we don't want to write over this blank. This blank is kind of our master that we're going to continue using. We're going to right click, duplicate, and we're going to rename as the number and the street. This is in red because I was doing it earlier, so I'll just give it a number. In the address cell, we're going to Control-Shift-V. That pastes it and strips out the formatting, so it just pastes the text. We've already got Jacksonville, Florida. We need zip code and year built. Zip code is 32210. Year built is 1960. Square feet and bed and bath. Square feet is 1387. That's a 4.2. Listed on, there is a listed on number of days here, but that's not always accurate. So we're going to scroll down, price history, and what we're going to do is see all these price changes. We're going to keep going down until we see that it was actually sold. Here, this is just a pending sale. That means it was under contract, but it didn't actually get sold. Again, pending sale didn't actually get sold. So down here we actually have sold. That means the current owners bought it on 6/22/23. We're going to go back to the spreadsheet, Control-Shift-V, and notice how they've actually been trying to sell it for 986 days, as opposed to the 190 days that is on the Zillow site. That makes a difference because that means they really need to sell it, so we can probably get it for lower than what they're asking. Speaking of which, the asking price is the next one, which in this case is $99,000. You can either paste these or type them in, whichever you prefer. HOA. We already said no HOA, but just to confirm, we can go down to facts and features, show more. HOA, has HOA, no. Use this drop-down menu to hit no. Closing date, we don't know because we don't have a contract yet, so you can leave that blank. And if you look over here to the right, slab or raised. So every house has a foundation, and it's either on a slab or it's on a raised foundation. So if you look closely at this picture, this is a slab. The house is basically on a 6-inch piece of concrete. It's not raised up off the ground. Usually if it's raised, there will be some stairs, and there might be some, you can see that there's a space under the house. So for example, if we were to go to a different house that does have a raised foundation, let's find one here. So this is probably a good example. So you can see how there's steps up to the door. See these little holes right here? That means there's a crawl space under there. So this is definitely on a raised foundation. that does make a big difference, which you'll see in a second. We're going to go back to the house we're working on, Tinkerbell. You can see that this is on a slab because there's just this one little stair, which is really just the slab up to the front door, and there's no space under the house. So back to listing. All right, so it is the one we are looking at is on a slab. So what that means is if it's on a slab, the number of bathrooms does not change. So it's currently got 2 baths, and because it's on a slab, it's harder to put bathrooms in there. So we're going to assume that we're going to keep this number the same. Now, so it's going to be 2 in this case. Now, if it had been on a raised foundation, like that other house we looked at, then what you do is it's the same number of bathrooms as bedrooms after conversion, rounded down. So if it were on a raised foundation, then this number would be 5, because we take the same number as bedrooms after conversion and then round down. However, it's not. It's on a slab, so we go slab, and this stays the same as it currently is. So 2. Weekly rate per room. We're going to click on that. We go to the PadSplit website. We're going to need to know the zip code for this, and this is 32210. So notice how I already have a link here for you. So you're going to click on the link. Remember that, 32210. All right, so we're going to look in here. We're going to look around for 32210, which is right here. We click on it, and it gives us 2 weekly room prices, $161 for a shared bathroom and $228 for a private bathroom. Now, if we go back to the spreadsheet, they're going to have to share bathrooms. If there's 5 bedrooms and only 2 bathrooms, that's a shared bathroom. Now, if it had been raised, and this was 5, everyone would have their own private bathroom. So, but that's not the case here. So slab, 2, so they're going to have to share bathrooms. Basically, if it's a slab, it's always shared bathrooms. If it's raised, it's always going to be private bathrooms. In this case, it's shared. So we come back to here, 32210, shared bathroom, the number is 161. We go back here, paste in 161. Okay, and that's all you have to do for the second set of columns. Like, there's nothing else you have to do in this right side of the page. On the left side of the page, we're going to continue going down. All right, so we're going to do a few things. Number 1, we need the listing link. So we go back to here, and we're just going to copy from the URL search bar at the top. We're going to right-click, insert link, paste, apply. Now, whenever you hover over that, you can get a link and a picture of the house. Next, we need the description. So we go back to the Zillow page, and Zillow calls it "What's Special." We're just going to highlight this paragraph, copy, right-click. This time we're going to comment. We're going to paste into the comment. Now we can look at it and see this comment, the description, anytime we want. Don't hit the check mark because that'll get rid of the comment. That's just how Google has it set up. Now we want name, number, and company, so we go back here. Name, number, and company is always going to be under the description. Just this line listed by this person, their phone number, the company, and another phone number. We want all that information. Copy. Again, we're going to right-click, comment, paste. Now we have all the contact information here. All right, and now we're going to come down here just to this block right here. So now we're going to go to a few different websites. So first we're going to go to one called Jack's Epics. We click on that. This is a city website. We go to search. Search. We're going to change this to property. Now we're going to type in number, house number, and the house and the street name. Property, paste. This box will come up. All right, now we've got lots of great information. First, we're going to need this real estate number. It's kind of like a social security number for a house. That real estate number, Control Shift C. I need the neighborhood, Hyde Park. Copy paste that there. We're going to need the zoning. This is a type of residential zoning, which is good. Flood zone. This flood zone X, that means it's not a flood zone. Also says it here. If this says anything other than zone X, then you put yes. But if it says zone X, that means it's not a flood zone, and you can put no. Are there any open permits? So we're going to go over here to permits. And this part will take a little getting used to, but basically you can see, first check to make sure there's not more than one page. There's only one page in this case. 8 items, and there's 10 items per page. This is everything. If they all say finalized, that's fine. You can say no open permits. Even finalized -NIF is also fine. If it says the word finalized, it's fine. If it says anything else, then you'll put yes. So all finalized, or if there's nothing here, then you put no. If there's any word other than finalized, you'll put yes. Go back here, open permits, no, because they all say finalized. High crime. So we're going to check spot crime. Map. Paste. Click. Okay, so what are we looking at? So these are all different types of crime events. Question marks are calls. The blue people are theft. Fist is assault. Handcuff is arrest. Now the important one is these red markers that are shootings. This red marker right here is the actual property. So we don't like shootings. All the other ones are fine. We are buying lower income houses, so there's always going to be some kind of crime, but we don't want there to be shootings around. So we're going to have to say, yes, this is high crime. If this looked exactly the same, but there were not shootings there, this would say no, not high crime. So basically a good question, you could think of it as, are there shootings, is the question. So you could even change this to shootings. So we're going to say yes in this case. All right, square foot verified. So we have the square feet, the 1387 in Zillow, but we want to make sure they are not fibbing or exaggerating their square footage. So we want to check the city to see if that is actually the correct square footage. So we're going to click here, property appraiser. We're just going to have to type in the number 6848 and the street name, which is Tinkerbell. There we go. That should be all we need. Search. All right, and then we click on this link. So we've got a lot of information here, but for now, the only information we need, we scroll down and we check this area. We are looking for the heated area, which is basically all the inside rooms that are heated. Total is 1387. And they did say 1387, so that is actually correct. If it had said any other number, we would have said no, but in this case, we did verify it, so that's yes. All right, bus stop distance. We want to make sure that the property is close to a bus stop. So we are, again, going to paste in the address or type it in. Okay, and you might have to, so this is the house, and you might have to zoom in a little bit before the little bus stops. See these little bus icons? You have to zoom in. See, another one little popped up. So you have to zoom in a little bit, and you kind of look around. These look like the closest ones. This little icon is a bus stop, so I'm going to right-click, directions to here. And then it'll show you it's 0.2 miles, which is great. We just need them to be 0.5 miles or less. So in this case, 0.2 miles is fine. So we're just going to come back to the spreadsheet and type in 0.2. Next, we're going to look at the estimated ARV. We're just going to go to ChatGPT and type in ARV for, paste in the address. And ChatGPT will give us its best guess as to what it's worth after we repair it. Sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom. So if it gives you a low, medium, and high, we'll just go ahead and use the medium one. So 205 in this case. So we go back here, 205,000. Finally, we're going to go get the market rent, click on the link for the Zillow rentals, paste in the address, click, type in any email address, continue. And we get the number 1545. So we go back to the spreadsheet, 1545. And that's it. That's all you have to fill in. Hope you learned a lot, and if you have any questions, let me know.